Welcome, everybody, to the That Kind of Nerd podcast, a weekly show where we break down what's going on in the nerdy world. I don't know why I said it with such inflection this time, but whatever. In the nerdy world.
I also wonder why you always say That Kind of Nerd podcast instead of That Kind of Nerds podcast.
That Kind of Nerds podcast? Oh my gosh. You've shattered 50 episodes.
You just make it possessive. And there it is. That Kind of Nerds podcast.
Oh, man. Anyway, I am your host, CJ Mellon, joined, of course, by Joshua Burns and Brian Thornton. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
And by the way, welcome to episode 50.
It's a milestone. A milestone.
It is a milestone.
Technically, if you want to play the technical game, this isn't technically the 50th episode.
No.
You don't want to play that game?
No, I don't want to play that game because
okay,
there were episodes 50. Recorded with people's fathers, and there was Sarah, and there was the other, the one that was just like a thing.
CJ, why do you need to ruin everything?
There was a shoe.
Who throws a shoe? I mean, honestly.
Right.
I think I did that interview with the shoe. I heard it was.
You had that one with the Hoyven and the Glaven.
Hoyven Glaven.
Yes, we did. Anyway, so welcome to episode 50. Thanks for joining us. We got some cool stuff to talk about today, so I want to get into it. So I first want to start with probably the cool thing. We are now partnering with Loot Crate. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them. They are the nerdy present that comes to you every month, sent from yourself or another nerd who is nice enough to get you a Loot Crate subscription. Brian is actually a Loot Crater. Is that like a thing? Is that what you would call yourself?
No. Sure. Let's make it a thing.
It sounds like a pit where I'll find money.
You do find money when you look at Loot Crate. You should look at the savings you're getting with all the gear. Brian, why don't you tell people a little bit about what Loot Crate really is?
So Loot Crate is a monthly subscription of once a month they will mail you a box of all sorts of really cool collectibles. There's usually a wearable of some sort, one or two in there, like a t-shirt or a hat of some sort. And it's a monthly crate that you get, and it's all this nerdy stuff. It's like Nerdy Christmas once a month. I love it. And so, for example, this past month, for the month of March, they had the Versus crate, where I got a Batman vs. Superman wallet and a Daredevil and Punisher reversible beanie hat, which was pretty fantastic. Yeah, I had a Mirror Spock versus Evil Spock shirt. So really cool stuff. Every crate has at least $40 worth of items in there, and you're only paying $20 a month if you do a monthly subscription. So it's really a fantastic savings, and it's awesome to just deck out your room with all sorts of cool nerdy things.
And what's really cool about it is that each month is a one-time kind of special thing. So you never get the same Loot Crate twice. Every month is something different. You have a limited time to opt into that month's Loot Crate, and then it's gone forever. You can never get it back again. They never do throwbacks. It's pretty awesome. So it's really cool. Go check it out. Go to thatkindofnerd.com/loot and go check it out. You will have the option to see what kind of plans that they have. Find one that fits you. If you want to be an awesome nerd, go gift it to a friend. It's going to be the coolest thing you've ever done for somebody. Definitely go ahead and check it out. Josh actually signed up for Loot Crate not too long ago. He's going to get his first Loot Crate soon. So go to thatkindofnerd.com/loot and check it out.
You know, I did sign up, and I did the full year subscription because I don't want to like forget to do it and miss one. So I just figured let me try it for a year, because you can put up with anything for a year. Even if it's awful, I could do it. But this looks like it's going to be awesome. Now, after signing, so I signed up after an evening of networking with coworkers and such, and I'm kind of thinking, I'm hoping I didn't sign up for one of these. There's a bunch of different types of crates, Brian.
Are. Yeah, anime crates and everything in there.
Yeah, like I'm praying to God I didn't sign up for a friggin' anime crate.
They do a theme once a month. I actually think April's theme is the anime crate. But it's always something different. So, Josh, even if you get the anime crate this month, May will most likely be like the Civil War crate, and you'll have something in there from Captain America. So even the crates that aren't so great, you still get some pretty cool things out of it. And then there's always the next month where you definitely will get more things out of it.
The thing that I'm noticing is that there seems to be a lot of sort of rare stuff that people can't really get many other places. And that's one of the things that I thought was really cool about it, because this is stuff that, when I was a kid and I was into, all the collecting and things like that, which I've gotten out of it. I've no time for it. But my son and my daughter, they have time for it. So this is going to be a cool thing that I can start little collections for them.
What I like too is that every month you do get a shirt, and here's the best. Every time I go to Hot Topic to go buy my nerdy stuff, or like to FYE to buy pop figurines, right? I don't want to do that anymore.
Stop.
I like knick knack paddywhacks, give a dog a bone, and that's what Loot Crate does. And this way, I don't have to talk to the guy at Hot Topic with a gauge in his ears that I don't want to. Who probably going to tell me how he vapes. I don't want to hear about it anymore. Let the UPS man just drop it at my door. And
the worst thing is when they don't have the thing in, and it's just a giant ear hole. That's hard to look. It's hard to look at. Sorry, you're all right, Brian?
Brian's dying. So let's talk about our first topic, and we're not going to spend a ton of time on this, but there's some cool stuff coming. Movies and TV shows that are coming to Netflix in April. There's a couple highlights in here, a couple things that they call highlights that I don't really think are highlights, but whatever. The Ranch is on this, and I think we've made that pretty clear that this show looks kind of terrible.
No, you made it clear that you think it looks terrible. Me and Josh were like, I'll give it a shot.
I think Brian and I both said we'd give it a couple episodes, and if it is terrible, we'll stop watching.
It looks terrible. Shawshank Redemption, which, I mean, it's on TV enough. I don't know why I need to watch it on.
Because every time it's on TV, I want to watch it without commercials, and I can't.
True story.
Ever. Also, for those of us who may have partially or totally cut the cord recently, Shawshank Redemption being on Netflix is awesome.
Well, it's usually on TBS, and I still get TBS on Sling TV.
Yeah, with commercials and censored.
True.
Who wants that?
That's true. Stop living like a peasant, right, Josh?
That's what I'm saying.
Stop living like a fucking peasant. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Season 2.
I've heard some decent things about that show. I actually have not watched it myself, but I'd give it a chance.
Laura loves it. Lil Brother loves it. I tried, and it just reeks of Tina Fey writing.
Yeah, you hate Tina Fey, so of course you hate this show.
With the burning fire of 1,000 suns.
I gave it
the surface temperature of Alderaan.
I watched the entire first season, but really lost interest in the middle of it. But I had to finish it because I was halfway through it. So I was like, well, maybe it'll just pick up. I don't know. I'm probably going to start season 2, but I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. Burns, this is going to mean a lot to you and me. The Minions movie is coming to Netflix.
Whoa. I can't appreciate Minions?
My children love that stupid movie.
Banana.
I already have it. I have it on iTunes, so.
I appreciate the Minions.
I don't know why.
Are you offended that I didn't include you within the love of the Minions, Brian?
I just feel like you're just ostracizing me because I don't have a child. I have cats who love the Minions, okay?
But not that many cats, people. There's not that many. The ratio of cats to males is very low in his palatial estate.
I kind of set myself up for that.
Yes, you did.
Right into it.
Hope you feel good about that.
For the 50th time.
I don't. I don't feel good about it at all.
And then hold on. Oh no. Please someone help. I think my pocket just froze. What's the next movie? Is it Begin Again? I can't read it.
Begin Again was actually, from what I hear, a pretty cool flick. Christopher Plummer, is that right?
Yes.
Do I have the wrong?
Keira Knightley and Adam Levine.
What?
And Mark Ruffalo.
And Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now. I'm reading it.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right.
It's Coyote Ugly, but with different people.
What?
That's just what I'm getting from the description I'm reading.
Okay, no, hold on. Now,
then it's not. It's not the movie I thought it was at all.
In Coyote Ugly, I hate that movie for one reason and one reason alone. But we won't get into that.
Okay.
Anyway,
here's the things that that I think are more noteworthy than everything that was listed up above. And there's 2 movies in particular. And I really wanted to watch one the other day, and I noticed it wasn't on Netflix. 2001: A Space Odyssey. I watched the movie Moon the other day, and I really wanted to go watch that. And Clockwork Orange are coming to Netflix. So if you can't sleep,
classic.
If you can't sleep, watch those 2 movies, and then you'll never want to sleep again.
Well, I'll say this. I think that Boogie Nights is a good one coming to Netflix. I also, my children love the cooking shows. So Cutthroat Kitchen has 2 more seasons, and then the Great Food Truck Race, which they also like, is going to be. Oh, and Kids Baking Championship. My daughter can't get enough of competitive cooking shows.
She watch that Master Chef Junior show.
She loves MasterChef Junior. We actually have the lady that did our wedding photos. Her son is going to be on Chop Junior.
What?
Oh wow.
In this upcoming season. So it's very cool.
I can't watch shows like that because I'm watching like 10-year-olds just do so much more with their life than I have.
It's like
ever
I
done.
barely made macaroni and cheese today out of a box, and
I'm
you
like,
just made
I
something
got
from
out
scratch.
of bed and I called the Chinese guy. That's good, right? Gordon Ramsay, please gauge my Chinese food.
Listen,
How
I
good is
gotta.
it?
You are both, somewhat adult individuals.
No, I'm not.
You need
I'm responsible
to be
for
able,
another human life. It's very
You
sad.
need to be able to cook a meal.
I
Like a
can. I can. I just.
I don't mean
really
like a
choose not to.
casserole or hamburger helper.
No.
I mean a whole meal of food.
Yes.
CJ is a connoisseur when it comes to the chopped up hot dogs with ketchup, and a little macaroni and cheese.
Also, well, look, that could be delicious. And before, I would be remiss if I didn't. Scrooged is coming to Netflix.
Yes, I was also going to say V for Vendetta, Princess Bride, and The Phantom, the 1996 movie
Yes!
The Phantom.
With Billy Zane.
Yeah, with Billy Zane.
Love it.
Coming to Netflix. I love all these movies, and there's a bunch of stuff coming over too that will be good for cord cutters if you miss things like that. I don't know if you remember me talking about this. There was the documentary Steve Jobs, The Man in the Machine.
Yep.
It will also be coming to Netflix. It is actually really good. There's some problems with the overall story that they're telling, but it tells a really good story. So
A new,
Hey, CJ.
a new Patton Oswalt stand-up, Talking for Clapping, is available the 22nd.
that's such a great Patton Oswalt name. Like
Right,
that's
but
exactly.
I mean, if you've ever watched Patton Oswalt stand-up, they're
Yes.
pretty solid.
Yeah, they're really great. Josh, I'm sorry, Brian, you were going to say something.
Well, CJ, I just want to let you know, Girl Meets World season 2 will be on
Excuse
Netflix.
me, I've already watched Boy Meets Girl, Girl Meets World season 2, and I have it with my on-demand
And
Disney
freaking
XD.
Danger Mouse. Love that
Season
cartoon.
1, Danger Mouse.
Danger Mouse. I own all the seasons, but heck, I'll watch it on
It
Netflix,
sounds
too.
amazing, but I've never seen it.
It's a great old like British cartoon that they used to air on Nick Jr. Just
right. Yeah.
very
Like everything British, so I'll
yeah,
check that out.
he's a super secret agent. He's a mouse fighting Baron von
Danger.
Greenback.
I had to we mentioned this in another episode, and I was like,
'Cause I
"What the
love
fuck
this
is
show.
Danger Mouse."
I grew up on this show. Freaking amazing.
You know a mistake I make every time I see it? Every time I see Mystic River, I go, yes, that awesome hockey movie. No. That's Mystery Alaska
Yeah.
that I absolutely adore.
Mystic
I
River. Is
love
that my daughter
movie.
in there?
If you
But
click on
Mystic River is
thinking
the
you're-
super depressing Sean Penn movie.
Is that my daughter in there?
yeah, if you're
nobody
gonna-
wants to
You're
see.
gonna have a bad time if you
I
click on
actually
that.
I did accidentally watch that movie thinking it was another movie, and then I'm just like thoroughly about to slip my
Also,
wrist.
how has My Girl never been on Netflix before?
I don't know if it's never been on Netflix, but it's coming back. Maybe?
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like how things come and go. Doctor Who, if you please. I had to buy all the seasons. Thank you, Netflix.
Yeah, but now you own them.
I do own them, but
That's
you know,
good.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few other ways you could spend $300 some. That I had to do it because I have to have it.
Did anyone else have anything like super awesome that they wanted to share with our listeners that would be great for your Netflix binge watching?
I already brought up Danger Mouse.
Danger Mouse.
Wasn't Turn pretty dope?
Oh wait, never mind. Turn? AMC
Yeah.
show Turn? It's actually
Yeah.
really good. Yes, I do like it.
Season 2 is available for 11/16.
Turn's a pretty good history show. I mean, it's not historically blah, 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 but like really
No.
cool, like really cool idea for it. So listen, we're going to post the whole list in our show notes, not the whole list, the link to the list in the show notes. It's actually done by Thrillist, and they didn't put any numbers on, so everything was okay. So go ahead and check it out. Let us know if we missed something. Like, how could you guys not talk about whatever? We have plenty of ways for you to get in contact with us and tell us what you think. I know a few of you are yelling at us saying, "You're idiots, you're idiots." Tell us why. Tell us what we missed. Or defend something that shouldn't even be on Netflix.
Okay,
anymore.
let me just say, nobody's saying you're idiots. Everybody's saying CJ's an idiot.
No,
That is not
it's
true.
It's been pretty well documented that people think I'm an idiot.
Okay, well then I'm the only one who's not. I guess I don't know.
No.
Yes, you
that-
are the only non-idiot
Sweet.
on the show.
I was told
so far.
I was told by a fan who didn't want to leave the voice message that at one point each of us during an episode were yelled at. So
that's exciting.
yeah, it's okay.
Well, I gotta say, if you're not willing to either no, if you're not willing to either sack up and leave it on voicemail, or just hit us up on Twitter and say you guys are idiots, or on Facebook you guys are all idiots, or via email you guys are all idiots.
It was the first time he'd listened to an episode and he didn't feel like he had the relationship to actually say to our faces.
Of course. If you're listening, we want to hear what, even if we don't know who you are, never met you, we want you to call us idiots.
Like TD. Like, we don't know who TD is. I don't know this guy, but he likes us.
But I now, like, I feel connected to that.
I do. I feel we sent him a lovely gift for leaving his messages.
Yes, we did.
So
I gave him the gift of being called Theodore for a time.
No, that
not his name.
That was a gift.
It was
Theodore.
a gift, though.
Yeah.
It's a very regal sounding name.
You didn't call him Krabs or anything, which is good news.
All right, let's move on to the next part here. Josh, this is something that I believe you had seen and thought it was kind of interesting that we could now relive the good old days of the SNES with your iPhone.
It is something I found. It's something I found, and then I like immediately went, shut up and take my money. So it's a Super Nintendo size and style controller with like a holder attachment to mount your phone and play Super Nintendo games. Here's my problem. I don't know how you get the games on.
I was just about to ask you, is there an app?
No. I thought there might be an app. I searched the App Store, no app.
So
I need help. I need someone to give me a reason to buy this because I want it badly.
You sideload a application called GBA for iOS. At the last time I checked it, it was available even without any kind of augmentation to your iOS device.
Your sideloading normally on iOS means Cydia.
Yes, this does not do that. It uses a certificate process for signing on, like when you're a developer or if you're a company who has an application that you don't want available to the general public.
Okay. I'm a developer.
Right, and a developer account will help. Well, what's also cool about this is it at the time that I installed it, because I have it on my device, you can actually do Bluetooth syncing or Wi-Fi syncing. So, like, if someone's got 2 Pokemon on you, you can trade in battle. So it's pretty good. So
let's assume I just want to play Tecmo Super Bowl and Punch Out and Super Mario World all the time.
It's perfectly fine, and there's also a. So hold on, I'm pulling that up right now, so I apologize. Okay, this isn't bad. So hear me out. It's fully compatible with iOS 8 and iOS 9. No jailbreak needed at all. Just to support the developers, they do require a $10 a year sign up.
Shut up and take my money. Sounds fantastic. And the mount is large enough to hold a 6S Plus. I believe it goes all the way down to the 5, but I'm not sure they've even considered I don't know why it wouldn't hold a 4S, but whatever. This for $35. And that's the regular price. I know it was on sale and you could probably still find it. But for $35, it sounds like you can play any Super Nintendo ROM that's available via this emulator. It sounds like a perfect investment. I'm flying a lot. I would love to have this on a plane.
It's also, by the way, Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color compatible, so it takes Game Boy games as well as Super Nintendo.
So for all you Pokemon fans out there, this
actually,
sounds like
I'm not kidding you. I have Pokemon Red on my phone right now.
You've got to be loving life.
No computer, no jailbreak needed. I'll put a link to the show notes. I do want to say, though, disclaimer, please do that at your own risk. Please go check out the website. It's iemulators.com. For all the terms and kind of understanding what you're getting into. I would do it if you got a little tech savviness. If you're no idea what you're doing on an iPhone, I would kind of steer clear a little bit.
You're going to walk me through this weekend.
Sounds good. Sounds like a fun time.
Shut up and take my money.
So I want to wrap up one little other thing then since we're talking about gaming things, essentially. This is actually a really nice story. There is a gamer who wrote into PlayStation and said,
Peter
"Hey, listen,
Byrne from South Amboy, New Jersey, reached out to Sony PlayStation. Right? That's the gentleman who reached out.
Okay, sorry. So Peter Byrne, he's 21. He reached out to PlayStation and said, listen, I'm having a hard time using the controller, the touchpad and everything that's on the front. I keep hitting it with the way that he has to hold it because he has cerebral palsy. It affects the left side of his body. So he's always touching the touchpad and making it kind of difficult. So he emailed PlayStation and said, what can you do? And they sent him back a custom controller with a letter from an employee who basically said, listen, I've never done this before, but it absolutely killed me to hear how someone who thoroughly enjoys using our program, who thoroughly enjoys using our stuff, having his experience completely ruined because of the controller design. And they sent him a custom-made controller that has the touchpad out of the way. And it was just absolutely amazing to see a company or a technician or whomever got this, right? Because I don't know who actually got it. Made him a custom controller.
The guy's name is Alex Nawabi. The only title I see in the letter is Retail Marketing Operations. But listen to this. This guy spent more than 10 hours of labor, revised it many times, built this custom PlayStation 4 controller just for Mr. Byrne, and it's basically the touchpad is disabled and a new button placed there on the back to replace the touchpad functionality because of the way this gentleman grips the controller. He received, according to this article on Tech Insider, just this past week, he received the first controller earlier in the week. This guy built Byrne a second controller just in case anything happens to the first one.
Good guy PlayStation.
For real.
Great guy PlayStation. And that's, again, one of the things that I kind of like about the nerd culture, right, is that we are inclusive, that we want everyone to right, be part of this world, right? We want to share our love and our passion and our knowledge with everybody. And it's cool to see that even a major company like PlayStation feels that desire within themselves. And I've never really heard of another company doing something like this before. I mean, Brian, have you ever heard of anyone doing something like this?
Not a gaming company. I mean, I've heard like movies and directors and movie stars doing things like this.
Right.
So, I mean, it happens. I mean, if you're talking about just huge companies reaching out for those individuals, happens all the time.
I think, and you're absolutely right, that kind of goodwill exists and is pretty mainstream, but someone creating a custom piece of hardware is something I haven't heard of, especially when it relates to gaming. So I think this is a great story.
All right, so now that we talked about good guy PlayStation, right? Let's talk about some other nerdy things that make us excited, and that's the trailer or the teaser trailer for Rogue One.
Teaser trailers generally aren't like 2.5 minutes long, and this one was. It was very pleasing.
Very true. So it's posted on that kind of nerd.com.
It wasn't just teasing at all. It actually was a full-on.
Yeah, full-on trailer. They called it a teaser. I want to, when the regular trailer comes out, it's going to be a 90-minute movie.
So what was funny is that there's this picture I saw that says Rogue One for beginners. Happens before Episode 4. Stop asking where Finn and Rey are. Stop asking.
They're not there.
Well,
They're
I mean,
not
look,
happening.
I gotta ask you a question in response to that statement. How many people do you think really this was their first Star Wars experience? I'd be willing to bet it was a shit ton.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's why it did so well.
So I think that
Agreed.
I think that asking the question without, being giant nerds, right? I think asking the question's fair. And then when you go, oh, it's between 3 and 4? Now I get it.
Yep.
Yeah.
My wife asked me, she's like, wait, hold on, where is Rey? And I'm just like, okay.
So what you're telling me is that your wife hasn't seen the original Star Wars movies?
No, she has.
Okay.
It's so close proximity to
Because of timing.
Well, we just saw it, right? She's just like, oh wow, holy crap, they're doing the sequel already. That's awesome because it's got a cool name.
The clue that it's not the same storyline would be it doesn't have an episode number.
Right? Mm-hmm. But when most people say, "Hey, did you go see The Force Awakens?" They're not saying, "Hey, did you go see the episode?" Like no one's saying episode in there. They're just saying The Force Awakens. So again, easy mistake, makes total sense. My wife is an incredibly smart person, and this is just a funny, nerdy thing to laugh at her. My wife is incredibly smart, you son of a bitch. She may not ever listen to this podcast.
She'll never listen to this, so she'll
damn it.
never know that I said it.
You didn't say anything. You rolled your eyes. Now, it's a
but then you
podcast,
had
so
you
no
had-
one
you had
knows.
to
So I
go
have
ahead
to
and-
now explain that
You had to
rolled
go
your
ahead and comment, and I didn't roll my eyes. I just,
Brian? What did you think
Slight-
about this
he-
trailer?
He smirked.
I did smirk and I slightly shook my head. I love this trailer. I mean, I'm a huge Star Wars nerd to begin with. It was one of my first movie experiences ever. So anything that has the word Star Wars in it, I'm on board. But this looks really cool. It looks really intense. And I like the whole covert mission type aspect this is taking. It's like Ocean's 11 in space. And I love
That's
it.
what I thought too.
Like I'm very excited to see how this story kind of unfolds. I'm looking forward to it, knowing that probably every main character is going to die.
They're all gonna die.
They're all gonna die.
Probably, you know what? Maybe one survives, but I think for the most part, they die. Everyone.
They have to, but I think it's going to be cool. I'm on board again. Star Wars. I'm there at midnight in my stormtrooper outfit or whatever.
What I do like is that we are starting to see some of the like costumes, and we're still seeing some of the things that were very new in the original. Wow, when I say the original, we all know what I mean. Movies, and we're now just putting it in a 2016 lens. We're letting the technology be a little better. I'm actually really excited, and it seems that some of like the things that we liked about The Force Awakens, like practical effects and the sets, still going to be there, which is great. Josh, what about you?
Oh, I thought the trailer was fantastic. I think that Forrest Whitaker's is. I think Forrest Whitaker will probably put on a pretty amazing performance as well. But the again, very, very good use, appropriate use of music to set a tone, and the whole thing feels very foreboding, which is nice.
Yeah,
and
Donnie
and
Yen looks badass in that.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Very
my-
excited for that.
And my wife had remarked again that she's like, "Oh, hey, a lot of chicks in the Star Wars universe right now coming out because we've seen again to be focused on
the main character,
another female lead." And so far, I mean, even just from these snippets and 18 seconds of of dialogue, strong performance looks like coming out of this actress. Do we know if she's been in anything?
She's been in a ton
recently?
of stuff.
Something I would know her from.
Well, if you give me 2 minutes, because
I
my
thought you
IMDb
were IMDb. I didn't know you had to go do it.
I indeed am IMDb, but I don't have the answers for everything. I'm sorry, CJ.
You should be.
It does not happen all the time. So Felicity Jones is the main character. She plays Jyn Erso, I think is how you pronounce it.
Yep. Jyn Erso.
She has been things that CJ has seen. The Theory of Everything. She was Jane
Amazing
Hawking.
Spider-Man 2.
Right.
She was in Amazing Spider-Man 2. She's been on Girls, which I know CJ has watched.
I don't know why.
Also, Kylo Ren from Girls too.
Right, Kylo Ren is from Girls. That's probably really the biggest stuff she's done. She's getting to like bigger and bigger. She's done a lot of TV stuff in her early career, but those are probably the most notable movies that she's done. But
Well, good.
Well, you got Mads Mikkelsen and Alan Tudyk as well, and I think very recognizable. Diego Luna is in it, and I already said Forrest Whitaker. So I mean, it's not like it's got a solid cast. It's I hope that there's some additional storytelling in there regarding what Darth Vader did after 3 and before New. Like, I hope we see a lot of that.
I mean, rumor is
I don't expect to see Darth Vader, but I'd like to hear some more story.
Oh, like, hey, did you hear about the guy with the cape going through? And go ahead,
Right,
Brian. You said you heard
right.
some rumors.
rumor is he does show up in this movie though.
Really?
I'm imagining it's the side of his face going, "All right, it's good, it's done, it's complete. Okay, let's go blow something up."
De Niro? Does he do a
Yeah,
Robert De Niro
really.
impression?
Yes, it is De Niro under it because it's Hayden Christensen. So at least that's better than fucking Hayden Christensen. But yeah,
I don't think you need Hayden Christensen anymore. You put
Just a
anybody in that
mask.
suit.
And James Earl Jones' voice.
Yeah, pretty much. That's all it takes.
it's true. I don't think you're gonna see Vader, and if you do, it's really just gonna be a 8-second. Oh, okay, there was Vader. Like that's it.
No.
Stop shitting on everything. that I
Seriously,
hope.
why do you hate everything, CJ?
What the fuck are you talking about? How is that hate?
We both just said we're really looking forward, hoping this is going to happen. Brian said, hey, I heard rumors that it probably you're going to see it. And you went, you're all stupid and this is dumb.
I did not say all stupid and this is dumb. I said
That's
going
what
to
I
see
heard,
him.
Brian.
That is exactly what I heard.
I said you're going to see him, but it's going to be like a single take, one shot, and he's not going to do a whole lot.
And then you said, I don't think we're going to see him.
Yeah. No, that didn't happen.
Fine, okay. This is the first time I get to be wrong about a Star Wars thing.
I was going to eat those cornflakes before you pissed in them. And now I can't eat those cornflakes.
They're ruined.
Urine-soaked bowl of cornflakes. So while browsing the interwebs, what I found this week is an article, probably from Thrillist.
It is from Thrillist.
That is about, is it the 9 things the Galaxy S7 does better than the iPhone 6S? And naturally, you know, me being who I am, my reaction was, this is bullshit. I got to read this article to see how stupid it is. And, you know, I read the article and a few of the things, I may not call out all of them, but I do want to talk about a few of the things that it states. It charges faster and wirelessly and holds a charge for twice as long. First, when you say it charges wirelessly, you're lying. I mean, yes, you can set it on an inductive charging base, but that thing's plugged in, and as far as I'm concerned, that's a wire. It's not wireless.
I agree.
But it does charge faster, I know that, and it does hold the charge longer. I know that too. It's a bigger battery. That's cool. It's water resistant. I get it, Lil Wayne. You put your phone in the fishbowl. It's fine. I don't care if it's water resistant. That means nothing. A special one-handed mode, I think that's dumb, but I'm moving beyond that. Expandable memory. Obviously, we like that. You know, I saw a 128 gig SD card for like $30 this week. So that's a big deal.
Considering that an iPhone 128 costs like $849.
Right. And then other things that I don't care so much about, like, you know, better VR and optimized tech for gaming and the obviously NFC that's accepted anywhere because it's not nearly as safe as the token that Apple uses. That's all good stuff.
That's the best backhanded compliment I've heard in a while.
No, it is. I understand it's a backhanded compliment. I think that for me, I've played with the S7 a little bit, and Samsung has done a lot of great things in the past few years. This is actually a really solid feeling phone in your hand.
Yeah, it does feel good.
I really like a lot of the stuff that Android's done lately, and the only thing holding me back from getting a Galaxy S7 is that it will not work in my ecosystem, and I'm too far gone. And and Apple knows that, right? Once you buy into an ecosystem, Samsung, Motorola has a bunch of stuff, and obviously Apple. Once you're bought in and you have, I think I'm up to 15 devices now, 15 different Apple devices. There's no way I could just throw an Android phone in there and have a good experience. However, if a situation arose where, my job said, hey, we're not going to do, reimbursement for cell phone anymore. We're going to give you one. What do you want? I would say, give me a Galaxy S7. Like, I would choose that to be my work phone just to have fun with it and play around with it because, in my previous career, CJ, I mean, I had a phone for every carrier and usually had at least 3 of them with me.
And you were the man who rocked the Evo harder than anybody I know.
I truly did, because that was maybe the most amazing phone, so far ahead of its time that it took. I mean, think about this. That phone came out in 2010.
Yep.
And it wasn't truly eclipsed until late 2012.
Well, the sad part, too, it was also on the shittiest network, so that's probably why it wasn't eclipsed until then, because, Sprint had everything going for it.
But you know what, man? I mean, in major metros, Sprint was solid, and the Evo, you talk to people who own that first HTC Evo,
they love it. Yeah.
They will swear by it.
Yeah.
Swear by it.
It's like
I'm
people
still a
with
little
the
sad I
razors.
traded it in, because I could be using it for something productive. But I do think, all you listeners, I do think that if you're not tied down to the Apple ecosystem, right, you don't have phones and iPads and computers and routers and Apple TVs and everything, if you're not tied to it, I think that making the jump to a Galaxy S7 might not be a bad idea, especially with all the bells and whistles they've packed in there. And boasting the largest battery I've ever seen outside of a Note device, like something that you can actually hold comfortably in your hand, that's a really big deal.
I want to say something though. I know you passed over it, but we've talked about it before, and for the record, I would like to apologize for not bringing up Virtual Boy when we were talking about VR last episode in 49.5, because Nintendo was innovating there. But I actually got to play with the Oculus handset that works with the Samsung Galaxy S7 and the S7 Edge, and I gotta tell you, man, that is damn impressive. That thing is crazy great detail, and I've talked about my Google Cardboard before, and it is a poor man's VR, literally. I mean, it's made out of fucking cardboard. But the Oculus system with this is phenomenal, and the user-created content that's on it, and they had like this VR art contest where they said, okay, make your best VR artwork, and let's see what happens. There was this one where I was in space, right, and I look. And I'm right about in front of a comet. There's this huge comet. If you look in it, the details are so sharp that you can actually see this face of like an alien in the comet. And then you turn around and you are inches away from another astronaut and you're free floating in space. This is still image, but it feels like it's alive. It felt like it was moving. I felt right there, and for a good minute and a half, completely immersed and terrified that I was floating through space. It was pretty cool. Brian, did you get to play with that when we had the access to it?
I did not. I was too busy doing things.
Working.
Exactly.
That was on break. It's actually really cool, which really does make me excited for what will come from it here. But Brian, you have been very quiet during this topic. I mean, when it comes to cell phones, I know you're not the guru for it, but do you think there's anything that you see from other phones that could compel you to leave the Apple ecosystem?
I am in the same boat as Josh. I have a MacBook, I have an Apple TV, I have an iPad, I have an Apple Watch. I'm not switching anytime soon.
No, there's no way.
There's no reason for me to. And like the battery and everything, but like I'll tell you what, and I don't know if it's the same for you, Josh. Ever since I got my Apple Watch, my battery on my phone has been lasting longer actually.
Well, yeah, because you don't ever have to turn the screen on.
I don't ever have to turn the screen on to answer a text message or anything. Or I can read a text message and say, "Oh, it's just CJ being dumb. I don't need to answer that."
That happens.
I don't have to turn my phone on. So my battery's been lasting a lot longer since I've gotten the watch, and I'm good. I love the Apple ecosystem OS. It works for me. I would not switch it at any point soon.
And you know what? I had a Samsung Galaxy S5. I had the Moto X, a couple other Android phones in there too, and I tell you, man, expandable storage is something I miss. I do miss the ability to add some of the other features through just even the Google Play Store, like launchers and things like that. I kind of miss that. And Josh, I'm with you. If it wasn't for, again, even with my cord cutting guide, I'm very tight in, and again, I even addressed that.
Probably more so,
even more so now than I am previously. And again, even Android people can follow the guide that I had. But I mean, if nothing really, and I'll be honest, if nothing really impressive happens with the next iPhone that's allegedly coming out this year,
you're lying, right? You're lying.
No, I may buy. No, here, because
you're lying.
Can I explain?
No one.
Can
believes
I explain?
You can.
I'll get a Samsung Galaxy.
You can finish, flapping head Canadian guy, but you're lying.
I may get a Samsung device and keep my iPhone 6 because I paid it off because I don't have a 6S. I paid it off. I'll keep my iPhone 6 so I can use that at home when I'm doing my cord cutting life and flip flop between the two phones. I think that'd be great. Yes, you can.
Flip flop. Nano SIM.
Yeah, they both have nano SIMs.
Wait. The S7 has a nano SIM?
Yeah. And if not, you just get in the adapter. Now I have to look it up.
The adapters suck. The adapters get stuck in
But listen, it doesn't matter. It's still cool to flip-flop between the phones. I did that before.
I agree. You need to, because if I'm able to flip-flop, I'll buy this phone.
Josh, I did the research. A Samsung Galaxy S7 does come with a nano SIM, so I can flip-flop in between an Android phone and an iPhone. So I would keep my iPhone 6. I'm not completely jumping ship. Still use it for my cord cutting life and everything I do with my iPhone, but I can flip flop between the phones. Because if
Sounds like
nothing
a lot of
awesome
work.
impressively happens, I will do it. No, it's actually really not. I lived and Josh, you can attest. I lived the life of two phones. It's not that hard. Get to choose.
No,
based on my
I've
mood
done
what I
it.
wanna do.
I've done it. I've done it too. I just think that I don't know, man. I don't think it's as easy as you think, especially because of the way Verizon processes voice and data.
I don't have Verizon.
Oh, you have T-Mobile.
I have T-Mobile.
Yeah,
Everything's so much easier.
Yeah, no, I'm screwed because I can't. You can't just pop an Apple SIM
into that, right? You've got a
for
problem
Verizon.
because they're still using the GSM and
You know what? Maybe
TDMA
when Google Fi includes Samsung devices, I would try that out.
But yeah, I may look into doing that. I think it's pretty awesome. So I know a lot of people out there are thinking that we're just Android naysayers, and if Apple didn't say it, it didn't happen. Just like
Well, my very good friend and mentor John Yearsley is, I mean, he has just never let me out of never lost a moment to make fun of me for being an Apple fanboy. So
I
when
think
I
Craig
saw
Phillips
this,
is in that same camp.
Craig Phillips, CP will do that too. But I know that Craig, he's not carrying a Samsung device. He has the 6P. So, I wanted to mention this specifically because I do think that because of who we are, we rarely give Android enough credit, or Samsung for that matter. But it seems to me, from playing with it, from holding the phone in my hand, this is a fantastic device that if you are an Apple user now and thinking maybe I want to change, I don't have any other Apple devices, you're not tied to anything, this would be the device I would jump on. And there are some great deals out there right now. I've checked them out.
Mm-hmm. So again, I think it's a great thing. I think it's something that we may want to keep tabs on and see if anyone jumps ship once we kind of see things. All right, so we're kind of wrapping up the show then. So I want to take a quick moment, and I want to do a couple things. Number one, I do want to say that I will actually not be on next week's episode, which means we're probably going to have the highest listenership that we'll ever have.
We're gonna have the most liked episode.
It's going to be phenomenal.
Out of 51 episodes.
We're going to have a special guest come on the show and join Josh and join Brian for it. So please stay tuned for next week's episode. But I do also want to take a quick moment.
We have a special guest?
We do have a special guest.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I know. Okay. Oh, sorry.
All right.
It's so special, we're not going to tell you.
I lost it.
It's okay. But I do want to take a quick moment, and I really want to say thank you to all the fans for allowing us to do 50 episodes. The fact that almost 200 of you download this podcast, and that we have just even a small amount of people that would take an hour out of their lives to listen to us just means the world to us. I really can't begin to express just how thankful I am for letting you guys, just inspire our nerdiness and letting us have an outlet for it. So I wanted to say thank you to all the fans for letting us do 50 episodes.
Yes, CJ.
God damn it.
50 episodes. This is very impressive. Thank you, fans, for supporting the podcast.
I'm done.
I saw him put his hands.
That, CJ.
I saw him put the hands over the mouth, and I was like, "Oh, he's not enjoying my sappiness."
I had an itch on my nose. It's very awkward with this mask on.
Did I break him?
I hate you.
No, you.
I also want to express appreciation. It has been really a fantastic year. This has been a tremendous amount of fun for all of us, and for me especially, just to be able to interact on a weekly basis and debate the most ridiculous things has been a great source of enjoyment for me. Thank you, and folks, we are just getting started.
Yes, so thank you again so much, and continue to share the podcast with your friends. Find your nerdy friends and say, hey, let's bond over this. Let's talk about how much of an idiot these guys are. Or let me rephrase that, how much of an idiot CJ is, because come on, that's true. So we got a couple ways that you, again, can interact with us and talk to us. As Josh said too, if you want to call us an idiot, do it. We're okay with that. You can get us on Twitter at That Kind of Nerd.
I think Bane might actually contest to being called.
And even if we're not okay with it, who cares? You get to say what you need to say and drop the mic.
That's very true. So hit us up on Twitter at That Kind of Nerd. Get us on Facebook at facebook.com/That Kind of Nerd. Guess what? All the things are pretty much That Kind of Nerd. The coolest thing, though, is calling us and leaving your message that we can actually play on the show, on the air. You are part of the podcast. Call 484-373-4119. That number is in the show notes, as well as a link to our personal Twitter accounts. If you want to follow us and talk to us directly, you can also do that. Again, come out and help support That Kind of Nerd by doing a really cool thing and get yourself a damn nerdy gift that keeps on giving. Go check out Loot Crate. Go to thatkindofnerd.com/loot and go check out how you can get stuff with Loot Crate or give it as a gift. I think that would be awesome. Hashtag someone gift Loot Crate to me. Just I want two. One for me, one for my wife. Worth a shot. Put it into the universe.
Well, I mean, think about this. If you've got somebody in your family, you know, your dad, your mom, your sister, your brother, whatever, who is that kind of nerd, a bunch of you chip in a few bucks and you buy them a year of Loot Crate. It looks like it's going to be fantastic. I've been very impatiently waiting since I signed up to get my first one. I can't. When am I going to get this thing, Brian?
You'll usually get it. It's usually towards the 3rd or 4th week of the month. So you should be getting it in like a week and a half.
Nice.
So when you go to thatkindofnerd.com/loot, you actually have until, looks like the 19th of every month to order your Loot Crate, or that month's crate is gone forever into the ether. So don't delay. Go to thatkindofnerd.com/loot. Go subscribe to this.
And this month's theme is the anime crate. So if you guys are a fan of that, absolutely sign up.
Some good Dragon Ball Z stuff's going to come your way, isn't it?
I'm hoping so. I'll be sure to take pictures and make you jealous.
Yep, it's very true. But I'm going to get it soon, so don't you worry. So, guys, that's all we have for this week. Thank you so much for listening to this episode and making us your walk around the neighborhood or your drive to work. I won't be here next week, but I will be listening in spirit. Actually, I'll be listening on Monday when you guys post this. So, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to us, and we will see you guys next week. Discuss amongst yourselves. I'll give you a topic. Grapefruits. There's the fruits, but no grapes.
Wouldn't it be really crazy if we did talk about grapefruits the entire time he was gone?
I think grapefruits are delicious.
I really do enjoy them. Although, I slice them up. You put a little sugar on them. Very tasty.
No, I don't put any sugar. Here, this is gonna sound crazy, okay? But just a tiny bit of like sea salt or kosher salt.
Okay.
Because this. You ever notice salt? What salt does is makes things taste more like whatever they are, right? So chocolate, more chocolatey.
Yeah.
Put a tiny bit of sea salt or kosher salt on your grapefruit and eat it that way. Also, I'm a fan of grapefruit juice, and Simply Grapefruit is delicious.
Do you know that if you're on certain medications, if you have a grapefruit, it can actually counteract and cause negative side effects?
What I don't like about grapefruit is, for as delicious as it is, it takes an hour and a half to properly
and you
to
need a
slice
spoon
between all of the. I don't have any grapefruit spoons because they stopped distributing them in 1976 when my parents got married, and that's the only grapefruit spoons that exist on the face of the planet anymore. Without buying them piecemeal, I can't possibly enjoy grapefruit with a grapefruit spoon.
How do you feel about Fresca? I enjoy Fresca.
Oh, I would throw a can of Fresca at whoever handed it to me. And now, A-Treat grapefruit soda is quite possibly the most delicious thing I've ever had in my life. And for a time there, A-Treat went away. But now it's back, and you can get A-Treat grapefruit soda once again.
It was the Twinkie of sodas.
I guess A-Treat could be described that for those
because the Twinkie went away for a little bit of time too.
The Twinkie did go away for
and
a little bit.
And then Tasty Cakes was trying to bring the Twinkie back.
The Twinkie never actually went away, as we learned from Woody Harrelson in the zombie movie. But grapefruits, to your point, are both delicious and nutritious. And I don't see any reason why we aren't eating more grapefruits.
Well, I know what's going to be after the show this time. Some grapefruit discussions.
You did this.
Can I just quickly, before you leave, can I ask what your take is on grapefruit?
Grapefruit is a delicious fruit and or grape. It is extremely hard to eat. I have to squeeze the juice through my mask. Well, why the hell did you cut out the grapefruit conversation, CJ?